Hello, welcome to the Dear Encourager podcast, where real stories meet radical hope. Hosted by Vanessa Scott and Keesha Nix. This space is made for anyone navigating the journey of chronic illness and caretakers seeking connection, compassion, and a community that gets it. Each episode, we bring you conversations that uplift, strategies that empower, and encouragement you can carry with you throughout everyday life. Let's grow stronger and healthier together. Well,
Hey, girl, how you doing today?
I'm good. It's good to be here with you.
I'm so glad you are here.
I know. So, everybody, as you can see, Keesha and I are together
Yes,
this
we are.
week. So, it is great. I had quite of a bit of a drive with the traffic, but it was good getting here, and I'm glad.
I'm glad you made it here safely.
And I hope that you guys all took note to the information we gave you last week about senior citizen is senior citizen mental health awareness, and we gave you a tool that you can use to make sure you put all the information in, like what's all in that book, Keesha?
The personal information book?
Yes.
The question is, what is not in that book? It actually focuses on your personal information, and it literally goes from your average information, your name, your address, to how you want to actually be buried. So the main thing that is really important about this is giving your family members information about you, who your doctor is, who your hairstylist is, who your manicurist is. And the goal is to have this information in one place in case something happens to you and you can't speak for yourself. Your family member will not be stressed in trying to find this information. They will know that this information is locked up in a safe place, and you have told at least one person where that information is, so they can relay that information to anyone. And let's say you need to pay for your rent or pay on your mortgage, they'll be able to know what bank you are with and be able to pay for your actual bills while you can't take care of yourself. Or if unfortunately you pass away, they will be able to know who you have a life insurance with. And then after that, they can go and actually get the money from your life insurance policy and then go and pay for that. They can actually come up with the information in reference to how you want to have your funeral, what scriptures you want read, what songs you want sang, who you want to be notified of your death.
Or if you don't even want a funeral. A lot of people don't even think about that. And they do what we think, what I want.
Mhm.
And so this is definitely a guide that you can keep for yourself to make sure that your family, your friends, everybody is aware of your information when it's needed.
Mhm. And they also can find out who you want to be the executor of your will, of your estate, all of that, where your will is located.
So from there, today we're going to talk about dementia and mental health conditions in our senior citizens. So that way, you guys, we want to give you some tips, some just education about this, because a lot of people get confused and don't recognize if it's dementia or if it's mental health issues that their loved one is having. So today we're going to shine a little light on that.
Yes, we are, because it's really difficult and shameful when people don't actually take the time to get a proper diagnosis for anyone, because it's just so easy just to say, oh, they have a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to walk away and call it that.
Yes, and it's very sometimes they do mimic each other, but they're very different.
Mhm.
So when we're talking about dementia, it's more of a neurological
Mhm.
condition.
Mhm.
And it's a disorder that affects the memory, thinking, and daily function.
Mhm.
So, a lot of our senior citizens and elderly, once they start having dementia, they can't do their daily activities. So, they need a lot of assistance doing that. Whereas, if we have a mental health condition, I can still do my daily activities, but it's that I may have mood swings,
Mhm.
my behavior changes. And you do have a little bit of the different thinking with the mood swings and the emotional um, effect of the mental condition, but it's not as dramatic
Mhm.
um, change as it is in dementia.
Yes. And y- dementia is usually caused by, brain cell damage. It can be caused by Alzheimer's disease, vascular issues, and other neurological conditions.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, mental health conditions are caused by genetics, traum-
Trauma.
trauma, yeah, life
Hmm.
stressors, chemical imbalances, or medical issues.
Exactly. And as Keisha was saying, so one of the diseases of dementia can be Alzheimer's. It also can be Lewy body dementia. Do you know what that is? I have not. I didn't know what that was.
Mm-mm.
So, and then you have depression, anxiety, bipolar, and schizophrenia is a mental health condition. So those are some, like I said, some conditions can mimic and mirror each other, but they are a totally different conditions, and you will see from the changes in your loved one, or there's a lot of different physical changes when we're talking about the dementia, where the mental health condition is more emotional, mental, it can be behavioral as well, but it doesn't necessarily is physical. So that's one of the important differences when you're looking at dementia versus mental health condition. Also, dementia is usually gradually gradually affects a person, and it's not reversible.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a mental health condition, it's not reversible, but it's more treatable. So, and you can change with medication, with
Mm-hmm.
counseling. You can um, what's the word I'm looking for? uh, Help me out real quick. I'm having a brain fart. So, um, well, I can't think of it. It's going to come to me later. But a lot of it is making sure that we are aware of the differences in it. So, making sure, as you just said in the beginning, is getting proper diagnosis. Whereas, um, if I have a mental health condition, I'm going to have a psychological evaluation
Mm-hmm.
to see what's going on. And if I have dementia, it's going to be a neurological test that's going to be done. So it's more of a medical and physical test versus
Mm-hmm.
emotional, psychological one.
Mm-hmm. And with dementia, you usually see memory loss and confusion, disorientation, language problems. You see personality changes and difficulty with familiar tasks. With mental health, you will see sadness and anxiety, mood swings, delusions, loss of motivation, and changes in sleep, appetite, and social withdrawal. So, that is an issue. And usually with dementia, the chronic and progressive changes will be seen. And with mental health diagnosis, you will often have manageable or treatable symptoms.
Okay, Keisha, I think we've given them a lot of information so they can understand the difference between dementia and mental health
Mhm.
conditions. So it's very important that we also know how to support individuals with dementia and how to support individuals with mental health conditions. So first, we're definitely going to make sure that we create a safe environment because people
Mhm.
with dementia, that like as we said, they are very confused at times. They have a hard time doing daily tasks. So we want to make sure that their environment is safe and effective for them.
And also, um, would encourage you all to join support groups like
Yes.
Dear Encouragement or those that are individualized for whatever type situation or actual disease process that you or your family member is going through. Also, prioritize, uh, prioritize the actual practice of self care because you caregivers need to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. So put your oxygen on before you put the oxygen on somebody else. So you gotta take care of yourself if you're trying to take care of someone else.
And while you're doing that, a way that you can help make sure that you're and making sure that you have self care is making sure that you have a daily routine for your individual, your loved one that's suffering from dementia. Because as I said, they are having struggles with daily tasks, completing them. So if they have a routine, a schedule to follow, it's easier for them to get up and know what they need to do each day.
Mhm.
And also, this helps encourage the independence because a lot of times, as we said last week, our senior citizens they are having a hard time transitioning because they lack some of the independence that they had when they were younger. Because we know a lot of them are retired right
Mhm.
now, and if we're suffering from dementia, we're also not feeling our usual self.
That's true. And something that's also very important that we spoke about last week is making sure you have a form of respite. So, work on a care team, look into
Yes.
the benefits that your family member has, and sometimes they may not have those benefits, but you may have to pay for that. Or, as we said earlier, if you go and be a part of those support groups, some of those support groups can actually help you get less respite services. So you won't know until you ask if your family member has that type of service on their insurance or through the support groups that you go to. But ask because if you ask, you may be surprised at what kind of services that you get.
Yes. And as Keisha was just saying, because some insurance don't have or don't provide respite services. So what you need to do is, she said, create that care team. So if you have a care team, then I can tell my brother, hey, I need to take Friday and Saturday off. Can you come and care
Mhm,
for? So having a calendar, this helps, and so you guys can write it down and make sure that I have these activities and events. This way you guys can tag team, and maybe if your brother can't, maybe an aunt or a cousin can. And then also, there are some places where you may have to pay for respite
mhm,
services, but you also can get it. But as I was saying about providing the memory, the calendar stuff, this also helps with people suffering from dementia
mhm,
because it's a memory aid. It helps them to have a visual of things that they need to do and when they need to do it. So these are all things that are ways that we're helping our loved one with dementia, but you're also making sure that you take care of yourself and you're helping yourself with self care and taking care of you so you can take care of the loved one.
mhm. And don't sleep on your church because some churches have the senior care um,
Hmm.
ministries. Connect with them. They may be able to help you more than you know. So connect with your community, connect with the support groups in your community, even some of those hospitals in your community. They may have some actual um, support services. You won't know until you ask.
And I know when she's bringing up these community and church, they also help with emotional support.
Mhm,
And I know we talked about in our past how past episodes how caregiver fatigue is very real and
Very.
caregiver burnout. So when you're getting with these communities, the church, and all this, that helps eliminate or decrease the chances of you having caregiver fatigue or burnout.
Mhm.
And so also, I also with helping our elderly senior citizens who are suffering from, because I talked about helping those with dementia, but helping the ones with mental health conditions, we also encourage social interaction. So the church and these community events, they help with that as well, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of different people that they can do, and you can have that interaction with them as well.
Mhm. Very true. And something that's really important, check your pride at the door. If someone offers to help you,
Yes.
accept the help.
Yes. And when you become stressed, let that let it be known,
Mhm.
because we all know that caregiving is a very stressful, not just from everything that you have to involve yourself with.
Mhm.
Because if you have a family and you're taking care of that family, and you also have your individual who is suffering from a health condition, you're having to spread yourself in all these different areas. So
Yes.
making sure that you manage your stress, and let people know about that, and collaborate with a mental health coordinator to
Yes.
make sure that they know. So, as she said, make sure that you tell people, mainly someone who can help. That's what we're here. Dear
Mhm.
encourager, tell us, we can help, we can support you. And if it's something that we are not specializing, I guarantee we can get the resource for you to help with that.
Yes, we can. And yes, we will. So there are some resources for caregivers we want to talk to you about. There's the Alzheimer's Association. There's the National Alliance for Caregiving. There is the Caregiver Action Network. There is the National Council on Aging. That's a very big one. So, again, I'm going to tell you the Alzheimer's Association, the National Alliance for Caregiving, and the Caregiver Action Network.
And just before we close out, I just want to ensure that I give this information to you, that sometimes depression can mimic dementia in older adults. Pseudo dementia is what it's called. It's memory loss, poor concentration, and disinterest. And it's actually our senior citizens and elderly, they're actually suffering from depression at that time. And dementia and mental illness can coexist. So I can have the dementia, but I also can have a mental health condition. So
Mhm.
that's why it's very important to get an accurate diagnosis,
Yes.
to make sure that you take your loved one to a psychiatrist to get a psychological evaluation, and also take them to a neurologist so they can get a neurology examination.
Yes.
So, this has been our episode for today. I
Yes.
hope you guys enjoyed the information that we gave you. I hope we gave you a lot of tips. And encourage you to make sure that you are not only taking care of your loved one, but taking care of yourself.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I am super excited to be here with you, Keisha, today. And I cannot wait till we do this again together.
I
It's
can't
so
wait
fun.
either. And please don't forget about the personal information booklet.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all our social media
Yes.
platforms:
Yes. We're on Apple,
Spotify,
Spotify,
Instagram,
Instagram, YouTube,
and Facebook.
Facebook,
All the social medias.
at Dear Encourage.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again for tuning in to Dear Encourager. We hope today's episode brought you comfort, strength, and a reminder that you're not alone. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Dear Encourager. Like, subscribe, and share this episode on YouTube, and connect with us on Facebook to stay in the loop with everything we have coming up. Your support helps us grow this space of hope and healing, one listener at a time.